welcome back to Eve Embodied. I signed up for a 500-hour yoga teacher training with zero intention to ever become a yoga teacher. I talk a lot about the why in my first video, but long story short, I'm on an embodiment journey, and yoga teacher training felt like a good container for that, like a good place for me to focus my energy in a way that would get me closer to my personal embodiment goals. And so far, it's doing that. It's funny when I'm guided by my intuition, how I still get surprised that I'm doing the right thing. As I'm going through this yoga teacher training every week, I'm like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. This is exactly what I was searching for. These are the things that I already knew, but I needed to reinforce. And every time I'm surprised, but like, of course, I'm exactly where I'm supposed to be, doing exactly what I'm supposed to be doing in order to achieve the goals I'm working towards, because when you focus your energy in the right places, that's just how life works. But I have noticed the last three videos, there's been a pattern. I've been talking about all the ways I'm bad at embodiment, whether it's because of my personal astrology or my human design, or being type 1 diabetic, and how that surprisingly takes us out of our bodies and into our heads all the time. Um, and so I'm noticing this pattern, and I do believe in self-fulfilling prophecies. Um, but I really want to break out of the pattern. I do think that understanding the why and finding validation for like, okay, like I'm not a failure, this is just something that's extra challenging for me and here's why, and understanding all of those things can be helpful, but at what point do I switch from all the thoughts into action? Um, and so I wanted to talk about what we covered in my yoga teacher training last week, and we learned about the gunas. And please forgive my pronunciation on all of this. I do my best. But anyways, so the gunas are basically just the different types of energy that everything goes through. Whether it's people, plants, animals, we all go through different stages of energy. And there's three. There's sattva, which is like the calm, peace, balance that you might feel after a hike or after meditating or after doing something that like really brings you into balance and gives you peace. And then there's rajas, and that's, really quick movement and overthinking and overachieving and going. And then there's tamas, which is like the opposite of that, where you just cannot get going. It's the couch rot and doom scroll day. And all of those things, like, no judgment. We go through all of those stages, and they're not good, they're not bad. We need them all. And when you're too far in the direction of one, the energy of the universe finds a way to bring us back into balance. And so, with all of my thoughts and conversation around why I'm bad at embodiment and why I'm thinking about it and the validation and like, okay, that's Rajas. So, I've been really in that thinking, overthinking energy about my embodiment practice. And so, again, it's not a bad thing. It's good for me to understand why it might be challenging for me personally so that I can focus in those areas and remove roadblocks for myself. And this is one of them. This is me being in my head too much for whatever reason, because I'm a projector, because I'm a Virgo rising. Whatever it is, this is me acknowledging, being aware that this is challenging for me, and now taking action. And I loved that what I learned in yoga teacher training last week gave me some words and some energies and some actions and practices behind it to say like, okay, here's what I'm doing and here's how I can fix that. So I've just been really focused on partly just changing my inner monologue, um, away from here's all the reasons why this is hard to here's all the reasons why this is easy, or here's all the reasons why this is helpful, or here are all the reasons why this feels good and I'm glad to be doing it. I think in my first episode I talked about journaling after yoga and just reminding myself every time, like, this feels so good, you feel so good, keep doing this. Because every day when it's time to get on my mat, or it's time to do a project I don't want to work on, or a task, wash the dishes, whatever it is, Like, even washing the dishes. I feel good after my dishes are done. Do I want to do them? Never. I will let them sit in the sink for as long as humanly possible. It's one of my least favorite tasks. But reminding myself how I feel afterwards is always really helpful of like, just do it, you'll feel better. It takes 3 minutes. So just changing my mindset away from this is something that's really hard for you, but you should do it anyway, to this is something that makes you feel great. Period. Full stop. Um, and so rephrasing that, and then just even when the judgment comes up of like, you're not doing it because it's hard for you, just like letting that thought exist and like letting it fly away. It's not the only thought about my embodiment practice. I don't know why I'm letting it monopolize everything. Um, and I don't need to. So going forward, I just am going to focus on the things that are easy about embodiment, the things that are easy for me to get into my body. Like, I have a vibration plate, and I actually really enjoy it. I find that it helps move lymph around my body. It does actually help tone my, at least lower body for sure, while I'm standing on it, when I'm using it consistently. And so even that is embodiment, especially because you're on it for 10 minutes and you're shaking. Like, there's nothing really you can do because you can't, I mean, you could look at your phone sort of, but anyways, all of that aside, you just have to be present with your body while it's shaking and wiggling and doing weird things, and just being present with it, and like being like, wow, I've never felt that sensation before, or like, look at how crazy my arm jiggles when I move this way or that way. A lot of what I do on the vibration plate is just adjust my position to like feel different sensations because it's kind of weird. So even just a small practice like that that takes 10 minutes is embodiment, and it is me removing barriers for myself to make it easier. Am I practicing yoga every week? Absolutely. I'm on my mat like at this point an average of 3 hours a week. Um, so I'm not failing by any means. But am I really daily tuning in? Not yet, but I'm getting closer. Um, but basically, it's just listening to our bodies allows us to listen to our intuition more. And when I did that, I tapped into this yoga teacher training. And as I'm going through it, just finding all these things that are like, that's exactly what I needed to hear this week, or those were the exact words I needed to explain this thing I'm feeling. Um, but I couldn't do that if I wasn't present. So, lessons are being learned. If you have any lessons, or if you have questions, or share how you're on your embodiment journey, I would love to hear. I'm Eve Embodied, and until next time, find the balance, I guess.